Yesterday I started like partitioning. Okay, so we gone through the concept of the partitioning. Okay, yesterday I showed the static partitioning. Okay, so we saw this example, right? Static partition. So in static partitioning, we are loading data manually in the partition table. We are creating a partition table and loading data into partition table and then querying the partition table. So there are two ways in the static partitioning. One is like you can do with file to load data into partition table, file to table. And another one is you have some table, already some table is there and you are loading from the source table to target partition table. Okay. So yesterday I covered the file one. Okay. The second example I'm going to cover the static partition with the table to table, right? So I have a data in the source table and then I'm loading data into partition table. Okay. Yeah, yesterday video I uploaded. I think you can see in your playlist. This is so here in the playlist. Yeah, this one. This is yesterday video. So I uploaded and document I uploaded. And I uploaded uploaded other documents also so that I will not load again. So in the classroom, classroom. So here I have uploaded other documents also. Even we will see that later, but I have uploaded. So I'm going to follow the other one is the partitioning, but the second way of partitioning. Okay. So this one we have already completed. Okay. Now next is the partition we are going to do with the source table, right? Table to table. So in this scenario, I'm creating a one source table. This is my source table. So you can write syntax or you can, still you are not familiar with the syntax, you can do copy paste, but try to do practice of writing a create table syntax by row format delimited, field terminated by, if it is a partition by clause, so add the partition by the create table syntax, right? So remember it, right? I think one or two times because I'm copy pasting because I want to save the time. Okay, that is the reason I'm doing copy pasting. But if you do like better to do copy, not to copy paste. Just try to uh, think about some scenario and start thinking scenario and implementing scenario. Even the data preparation, everything you do like by thinking process rather than right copy pasting, right? So better is like just one table you create and then you um, create a source table, load the data. Okay, so everything you do step by step and thinking process you do. Okay. So that will like in interviews, like somebody is asking coding syntax, right? So you will be easy to write the coding syntax you can write. Okay. So I have to create a source table. So here I'm saying I will create a one source table with all four fields. Okay. Student name will be there, father name will be there, percentage is there, percentage, and I have a section. This section is partition column in partition table, but I'm loading the data from source table to partition table. The source table should have all four columns, right? Otherwise, I cannot load the data from the source to partition table, right? So the section column will be, and keep it last column. So whatever partition column you want to keep it in your source table last column. Okay. So I'm going to create a first source table from where I will load the data into partition table. So instead of loading data from the file, instead of loading data, from the file, I will be loading data from the one source table. Okay, from the one source table, I will load the data. So this is my hive. Okay, so So, so here I am creating a source table. Okay, my source table is created. Now I have to prepare the data for my source table. So here I will prepare the source table data. So I'm giving a source table name is section.txt. Okay? Because it is not specific to the section A or section B. So I'm giving the file name is a section.txt. So this is my source table data where I have all the sections data is there. This is an example for two sections, but you can have other multiple sections you can have, right? Data you can make it more and more. But here I'm taking example of two sections. Section A, section B data I have in my source.txt file. And I save it. Now from this particular path, I will load the data. So this command you already know. So load data local in path. Then I'm giving the path. My path is my hive test one. On exe. So extension you remember. If you have not given the extension, so you don't need to give. If you are giving, you have to give. And into table. And my table name is student underscore source 1 2. So my data is loaded. I can verify this source table. Let's start from student underscore source 1 2. So you will see my source table is populated. So far, my source table is created with all 4 sections, okay, with 4 columns, okay. So 4 columns are my source file, source table is created. Now I have to do next step is I have to create a partition table. So partition table going to create this part I done, okay. I'm going to create a partition table. I'm going to create a partition table. So I'm going to do this partition table. If you are not doing any location, so you know, right, or this is not an external table. So this all tables are going to create in the warehouse directory. I'm going to create a partition table with 3 columns with 1 column partition, right? That already we know. That is new, not new. It is the same thing which we did the previous exam. I'm going to create this one. Okay. Now next thing is I have to load the data into partition. This is the insert into command. Because when we are loading data from table to table, then we have to use. So here section. So suppose I'm telling here the section A. So here we have to use partition clause. So you remember, right, when you are inserting data table to table, right, without partition. So how you do? Insert into table, select field names from table, right? That you do. So only thing is you are adding in this one partition clause you are adding before select, okay? And where section equal to A. Okay. So when you do this, this will add the data in the section A. Okay. So it is instead of loading data from the file, right? You are loading data from the table. Okay. Source table to partition table. So here another section is section B. But still you have to do as many as number of times, right? Like you have partitions, you have to write insert query. Correct. Because you cannot do in a one insert because you have to give the static value. You are giving a static way you are loading. Even it is table to table, but it is a manual way we are doing. Okay, so here section A, here is a section A, here is a section B, and here is a section B. You are getting the data. If you don't give this where clause, what will happen? The entire data will go to the one part. Right? So you have to remember, right? If you are giving here section, so same column name value should be there in the where clause. Okay. So you are trying to fetch the data from the source and writing data to the partition table, target partition table. Okay. So first we run this. Syntax is not very big, difficult thing. If you understand only one create table syntax, you can create a partition table. Okay. If you know the source table, you know, right? So you can easily add the partition by clause. Okay. If you're doing some load data local path command, so you can load the data from file to table. But when you are loading data from table to table, so in the normal without partition, right? How you do? You don't give this one. You don't give this partition clause. Okay. And load data, we are giving a partition clause at the end. Okay. But here we are giving a partition clause in the before the select of the query. Before select of the query, we are giving because it's the part of in between the target and source. This is the target and this is the source. So in between the target and source, you are giving the partition partition specification you are giving. And load data, when you are doing load data, so how you are giving in the load data? So load data you are giving in the at the end of the command. Giving load data, so load data you are giving at the end. So that's the difference on. Okay. So when you are doing normal table, you do till here. But when you do partition, so just give the partition. So this partition clause is same whether you do the load data table or you are doing insert into table. The only position is different. Here the position is here, and when you are doing insert into table, the position is between the select and this insert. Okay. So just you remember. Okay. So now we have done, it is completed. Okay. Now I'm going to do the same thing for the second partition. Result will come same. There is no difference in the result because result is the same, whether you do with the file or whether you do with the table to table. Okay. Result will be the same. Okay, it is also completed. Now I can verify. Let's start from student 12 underscore ST80 underscore part. This is my partition table where section equal to get the A section data. For B, I will get the B section. This is clear. This is the second example video. We did the second example of the static partition. So this is our static partition from table source table to source table to target. Anyone has any question in this? Okay. Suppose same thing I want to do for the dynamic partition. So how can I make the example? Okay. So simple. This is my third example. Dynamic partition, the source table part will be remain same. So we will not have to do it again. This part and whatever you created data, right? So this data you created. So this data part is same. this data we loaded into the source table. We loaded the data source table. Our example is starting from. So this example, first I am creating a source table, then I created a file, and then I have a load data command to load the data. So load data command is this load data command is this is the source table. Okay. So this part will be same. This part will be same for the dynamic partition. I don't need to create, but I'm copy pasting here for dynamic partition. Because dynamic partition also table to table. The source table we need. This is the first step done. First step of the dynamic partition is done. Now, second step is we have to create a one dynamic partition table. So, okay, partition table is same. Even just name, I'm changing it to dynamic. Changing the name dynamic. Okay. So my third step, my dynamic partition, second step, first part is done. Like I created table. Now, only one thing I have to do, I have to just copy this insert command also, same. Okay, but I will not do multiple time insert code. Okay, only thing I have to change here, whatever hard-coded values I'm giving, I will remove this. Okay, and same thing I will do it here. Okay, but one thing is here. So here is okay, name, author name, and section. Okay, so now this table I create first. Create a dynamic partition table. Okay. Now if I try this insert into command, what problem is there? Because if it is the same like this, so what is the difference in static and dynamic? Okay. So if I try this command, it is telling me dynamic partition strict mode required at least one static partition column. So it is understanding this is you are trying dynamic partition, but your dynamic partition is not turned on. To turn this off, right? So you have to enable this property, like non-static property, dynamic partition mode, non-static. So if you want to use dynamic partition, set this property. If you don't want to use the dynamic partition, set the hard-coded values. Set the hard-coded values for this and make it as a like the static. Okay. But static we don't want to test, right? We want to test the dynamic. So we will set this property, just copy this property here. Same property will come here also. But I wanted to show you the error. That is the reason I didn't do this before. Okay. So I have to just set it this property. It is not a command. It's not a table related command. It's a simple configuration command like set command. Okay. And after this command, after this set command, you have to do the same insert into again. Okay? Same insert into I do. So what I have removed in my insert into table, just here hard-coded value I remove. I want one single insert for multiple partitions, right? So that is the reason I don't need to give my hard-coded values. So it's static partition and dynamic partition. When you do practice, so same thing will be used, right? Only thing is, additional thing is this. If you make it this property enable, okay, so your dynamic partition will be enabled. Actually, one more property also there, but that property is not mandatory. If you do it, that is fine. Dynamic partition equal to true. Equal to true. So this property also you can give. This is second property. but this property is mandatory. Okay. Okay. Now you see your this insert is done. So let me check how many partitions are created. So how can I check the partitions? So there is a command show partitions and table name. Student 1 2 Dynam. Oh, I think I have loaded in the static partition table. In this query, while inserting, right, I didn't change the insert into here, right? Okay, so new table which I created, so it loaded into the earlier static partition. Let's add in this one. Okay. So that is the reason I was not able to see any partition, right? Because this table, this target table, new dynamic partition table which I created, but I didn't run the command for dynamic partition. How I use this again. Table you are going to load data. Okay. So here if I'm making it dynamic, everything I will use dynamic. Right? So same thing I will use here. So because I use it same as the older one. See, it is done. Now I will do my show partition. Can you see both are coming with a single insert command? Right? Both are coming. If I want to see my data in the partition table, so when I do select query, exactly. Data wise, nothing will change. I'm still telling whether you do static, dynamic, is nothing change for the data. So the select queries, everything will same. Only thing is how easy you can do dynamic partition. That I want to say. Like if instead of doing multiple insert, you can do with a single insert command with the all partitions. Maybe one partition, 10 partition, 15 partition, 20 partition. You have to run only one command. Now let's see what is the location, right? How the data is inserted, okay, in the location. Okay. So Hadoop fs minus ls. We know it's a okay. First we can see the show create table. What is the location? So create table. This is create table. Create table. The location is slash user hive warehouse. This is the dynamic partition table location. Okay. Hadoop fs minus ls. See the table folder. So inside table folder, generally, yesterday I was telling for the nested partition, what will happen? So nested partition, if you are using two partition, so section equal to A, and then slash the second partition column value will come like that. But here is only one partition. So here is only one partition. So I want to check the data in my second partition, section equal to A, just like given section equal to A. So my file is here. So can you see here the 0000 something file is created. So this file we have not inserted, right? This file is done by the insert command we done. Okay. So this naming convention like hive has taken. Okay. And I see want to cat command. Want to see the content of this file. So section A data you will get. The cat command. And you see this is the section A data. Okay. So if you change the section B, right? So you change the section B. it will show you the section B data. So this way you can do section B data, like suppose I want to change section B data. Okay, so this will be showing the section B. So both data are different. This is a different data, this is a different data. So this is a section A data and this is a section B data. Okay, so this is clear, right? How we can check the data on the disk and show partition. So show partition command is showing the number of partitions in the table. So one more thing we can do. This is the initially you created a partition, right? You loaded partition, but suppose later I want to add one more partition. There is an alter table command is there. Add partition. Add partition. And partition specification you get. Section equal to, okay. AB is already there. I say section C. I'm going to add. But add partition you will not do in the bulk. You are doing, okay, suppose you are doing one partition you want to add or two more partition you want to add. So 2 times alter table add command you will do. Okay. So alter table add partition section C.
I guess alter table name.
To see partition is added logically, but still data is not there. Even the structure is also created. Okay, but in this structure, right, like when you see here, if I do section C, but there will be no file. If I do just section C, okay, and I'm just checking 0000, so will you see any file here? It will say not found. See not such file directory, because I just created logically partition. I created logically. So actually here is when you are dropping and altering add partition. So you have to do 2 steps. One is logically you add partition, and then you can place the data on the that insert into table command you can do to load the data. Okay. So I can follow like, okay, suppose I want to add. Now the question comes like you want to load the data, like table to table you want to do. Okay, so you should have in the source table, you have that column value. Okay, so you have to update your section.txt. If you don't have, suppose you say I have data in the file, so you have a choice, right? Either you can load the data from the file or you want to load the data from the table as a static view. Okay, so that is your choice, right? Because table you want to do, add the same section.txt, add the C section data. Or if you want to load the data from the file, just create another file like this. You can create one file like cat section C. I can do section B get B. Data inside that doesn't matter. I'm just creating a one section C I created. So this is my section C data file. Now I will load the data. So load data, same like partition will be in the end. Load data. Look at the path. Test one. And the file name is section C into table. So append mode you are doing, right? So partition will be added as a new partition. But suppose section C partition already there, and you say the partition C you added from the table last time, but now you got some file and where the data is updated, where the new data is there. So in that case, you will use override. Okay. So override what it will do, whatever you loaded from the table last time B partition, and the now new data you are getting from the file, you can load it like this. So into table, but this is a new, right? This is a new, even you use override or append, it doesn't matter, right? Because in both the cases, it is adding the data, right? So here is it's some completely new partition. If it is a completely new partition where the data is not present. So load data local in path into table and then your dynamic partition. So when you have a dynamic partition table, it's not a matter, right? You can add a static way or dynamic way. Okay. But static you can do only static, okay, because that property is not applied. Okay. So load data local in path. Here I have to tell about my partition clause. Partition. And now I say this is for section C. So actually I have now my hive plus. So now I add logically I added partition by adding the alter table command. Now I verify whether the data is loaded in the partition or not. So it is done. But sometimes it is not doing. There is a MSCK repair command is there. You can use MSCK repair. I think table keyword from someone. Get try it first. Student. It is just repairing the table. Sometimes your data is not. I think for drop partitions one, we have to do MSCK repair. Okay. So for add partition, you added the data in the partition by using load command, and you logically added partition by using alter table. So your data will be reflected. Okay, your data is reflected. Okay. So even you do this MSCK repair, it is not. MSCK repair generally used when you're dropping it. Okay, let's try one partition we drop. Okay, right now, how many partitions are there? 3. So partition and table name. What is it? 3 partitions are there. Okay. Now I say one partition is not for my use. I want to drop this partition. Section A we do. So section C we recently loaded. So we try on our this one. So same way, like we have alter table add partition command. We will do table is student 1 2 and alter table name drop partition. It is easy to remember command partition alter table name, whether you do add partition or drop partition. So drop partition and then partition specification you get. So drop partition, let's say we check logically is deleted. Okay. So partition I'm doing. Can you see here the partition is deleted logically, but still the data will be there in the table. If I do Hadoop FS ls command to check, okay, so I will come to know here. If I see, first I say see section A is there or not, because if this folder is present means the data is there, right? Okay. Drop partition here. Okay, so drop partition has removed the data from the this also, right? Because we are not able to see the section A folder. Section A folder is not there. Correct from this. So here is the Dana partition, right? Okay, so it means drop partition is dropping the data as well, right? So it means like you don't need to run any MSCK repair command and drop, and manually you don't need to delete. So drop partition, when I did, I'm able to see right my section A folder is deleted. So when I do drop table, alter table drop partition, so my section. So if I do select command, so I will not get the data, because if the data is deleted and logically I have deleted, so it means the data will not be there. Empty. It is empty. So you will not get the data from the. So if sometimes issues there, so we can use MSCK repair command, MSCK repair, and then you can give the table. So it will sync your metadata with your table. Okay, metadata of your table sync with the actual data. So logically, you are saying there is no A partition is not there. Okay, but okay, so here is MSCK repair. You can use it for syncing the table metadata with the actual data uh, on the folder, on the partition folder. Okay, so it will update. It will sync both. It will sync this MSCK. Okay, so this is clear. So there are the other partition management commands are there. We have seen so far like show partitions. We can give the table name. Okay, so we can see the all partitions. Alter table. Okay, my table is student 1 2 underscore, and add partition, and then I can give the new partition. Section C. Another command, alter table drop partition. Drop partition. The drop partition is removing partition, and add partition is adding partition. If you want to do some syncing, right, MSCK repair, here, MSCK repair table and table name. So table keyword is coming everywhere. Okay, so remember, whenever you are using alter table, MSCK repair table, the table is only show partitions. So here this command, and we can rename the partition also. We can copy the partition also. Like rename command is renaming the partition. So there are a lot of other commands you can use wildcard characters also. Suppose you want to show partition for specific like word is starting, character is starting. Wildcard character you can use with the show. Suppose you have thousands of partitions. So how can you find your own partition, right? So show partitions is giving. So show partitions, wildcard. So how to use the show partition with the wildcard? You can use the, like you want to find the partition with the date like this percentage, right? So this kind of scenario, you can called partition management, right? How can you do the partitioning? So show partition, DB, table, and partition specification. So these are the options with the partitions you can do. Create, drop, alter, partition, alter table keyword. Alter table partition, partition location, we can change partition. So show, so table, so table property, so create table and so column, so function, so lab, so show, show partition, show partition. When you go to show partition, so show partition table name, and then this kind of you can see like okay partition for the this particular date for this specific partition you can give, or you can give some wildcard like this you can do like limit order by whatever you do in the SQL you can do here. Like I can put the condition. Okay, but this is the 5.4.00. This is the latest Hive version. So this is specification added 4.00. So Hive 3, this all the 3. No, it's been simple. Okay, there are more variations are there. Okay, same like alter table and drop table, alter table, and rename partition, right? So if I want to do rename, rename partition or rename table, both are different. Okay, rename table means where when the table is not partition table. When the rename partition means we are doing exchange partition, rename partition. Okay, so these are the commands. So rename partition is alter table, table, exchange. Okay, this is exchange. Alter table, table, partition, rename to the partition specification. So this partition specification is your old partition. Suppose you say section A, I want to make it section B, or section B, I want to make it section C. So you can change. So how will change here? So this table name will change here, comfortable table name. So here the table will found. And partition specification. So partition specification you have to give in the bracket. The partition specification is given in the bracket. So how we give? I say section equal to, because A is not there, I'm trying for the B. I want to make it rename to the new partition specification section B. In the bracket, I will write section equal to B. So just changing the name, data and everything will remain same. It is just like a rename. Okay. Now I do show partition. Show partition. So you will see whatever your B was there, it become D. Now it's a D. But data is still the same. But just you wanted to rename, right? When you do query, so you will do the query now, section equal to D, not the section equal to D. right? Okay, so this is like a rename. Another thing is there, like you want to exchange partition. Exchange is like one table to another table you want to exchange. Like, okay, I say one table has partition A and you want to exchange with that table, another table. So one table, move partition from table one to table two. So whatever you want to do, just use like this table, table name one and table name two. This is a target table. So target table, table name two, target table, but it should have the same partition table command, right? Okay, you have it's a partition because non-partition table you can't exchange. So suppose I say I have in table A and B partition, and table B has C and D. I want from table A, I want to move my exchange the partition, A partition to the table B. So now A will become A, C, D, like that. Okay. So the target table where you want to exchange, to give it this, and the with table one, this is my source one, and which partition you want to exchange. Multiple you want to do. So multiple means multiple comma separated. You give section equal to A, section equal to B, right? So it will move to the another table. So if I create this Dyna partition table without any partition, okay? I say I create another Dyna partition table. I say new, okay? I'm just creating new, but there will be no partition, just only empty partition table, right? There's no partition here, just the partition table, but not any partition. So I created, this is now my target table. Now I say my previous table has C and D. I want to exchange this C to this one. Okay. So how I will change the command? So I will take it this command, or both I want, I can take it this command. But if I want to get both, so I will this is my new. I just change it to new. My old. Okay, this is my old. Okay, what is the partition specification? I have right now. Okay, two are there. Section C. I will change it here. Section C, comma, section C. In means here it's not like we are trying to shuffle, right? Come to Dyna part new, exchange partition, C and D found. Okay, it is done. Now I see two partitions coming. Part new. This my table name is me. Name means what? D. So section D, the data field of section C. Partition is created, but why it is not showing? You see here, okay, and if we see in the directory, my DB probably right this database table folder. So, so so it is not giving error here. See, okay. Logically, it's showing only C, not C. Okay, let's try the MSCK repair command. But we tried two partitions. The older one. Data was there. Data was there, but alter table. Okay, I try with one partition. Let's see. So we getting the issue with the C. This is the original one, and this is my latest one. Okay, this is now I see. Student found one partition, the data came. So one partition, the data came, and so one partition one we did, and it's working fine. We are trying original one. Actual means it remove the partitions, copy partition. Okay, do this practical and see that whether one partition is working fine, but check for the more than one. Okay, more than one. They are saying multiple partition system that will move the data in a partition from table one to another that has same schema. Don't already have that part. Okay. Partition, another command is MSCK repair command. So hive is to list the partition for each. So we can use this MSCK for add, drop, and sync partition. So we can add speak over partition, so we can drop partition, enter table. So this command on the partitions command, just go through it like all the table add, drop, okay, rename. This is the one rename command. Okay, alter table. The partition related, partition management related command, alter table add, drop, exchange, and rename. Okay, this command you can do. If you want to logically add more than one partition in a one single command, so add command you can give the partition and you can specify location or add partition like this way you can. Okay, anyone has any question in this partition?
No, Arvind.
Okay, so so we covered till here the partitions things. Okay. Okay. So next is a complex data type, right? Okay, hive is supporting primitive as well as complex data type. Primitive and complex. So primitive is normally is the the general data types, right? Int is there, string is there, right? Okay, double is there, float is there. These are the primitive data type that is already supported, but complex data type is three complex data type: array, struct, and map. These three complex. So first thing is here in hive, there is no primary key things in there. Okay, join is there, but join is some common column based join. Okay? But in the other SQL databases like join, we do with the primary key for any relationship. Okay, so here, so you don't need to define the data one table to another table like parent child. Okay, so you can keep it data itself in the same table as a complex data type. So suppose I say I have a student subjects marks. So I just give an example. Like I have the 5 subjects mark of the student. So what are the different ways to write if I'm not using array? What you will do? Student ID, student name, and 5 subject column you will create, right? Like 1, 2, 3. But suppose if I say you have to store the 10 different values in the array, you will create a 10 columns. So that will be very tough to manage, right? It is very tough, right? Because sometimes dynamic requirements are coming. Sometimes one student has 3 subject marks and one student has a 10 marks subject marks. So then you will not be able to manage, right? Because in the same table by creating a multiple column. And the other solution of this one is like you can define one table has a student ID, student name, and the second table you define the student ID and marks. Okay, but here you will create a multiple row for the same student ID. I say one student has 34 marks is a math and this is a science or this is a, but how can you identify what subject marks it is? It is not able to identify, right? Because it's a marks column. You cannot say this marks column is a math or science or what. You can't say, right? So you are making a marks column, but if you are not concerning about the subject, then it is fine. You can store the all marks and like then you can do the calculation. Okay? But still it's not a feasible solution. Okay, because it is creating a multiple rows. Suppose you have a 10 different subjects marks, so 10 rows you have to create. Okay, so the another good solution is we can use in the same table as a array type. So if this array type, if I say int type of array type, so as many as subjects are coming, it will not have problem because I have not specified any limit. If you got one student, 3 subjects marks, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2. So 3 subject marks will be there, 0, 1, 2, right? So array index start from the 0. But suppose second student has 5 subjects marks because he has some extra subjects. Okay. So here I can add 2 more items. Okay. So, but still my table name and structure will not change, right? It can accept for the 3 subject, 5 subject, 10 subject, 20 subject. It can take anything because it's an array. Okay. So this problem is solved by my defining the type is array of particular type of array I can define. Okay. Suppose I want to set some string values array. So I will say string. Here I will say string and I can save the string type of data. Okay. Now, can you observe here? This is taking only marks, right? Integer only. Because if I say integer, integer will take. If I say string, string will take. But suppose my requirement is the address. And in case of address, if you say string, so everything will be string only. You can have house number string, you have, okay. So any integer data, you can make it string, but you cannot do any calculation on that. Zip code is also integer, but you cannot do any calculation. But suppose I want to keep it both the data type. So in that case, I cannot use the single array string type. I cannot use that. So I will define another data type is called struct. So struct will, so suppose my column name is the address and struct type, I will give each sub column of the address by different data type. Can you see here? House number is an integer, street is a string, city is a string, country is a string, and zip code is a integer. So this struct is helping to me to define a different data types, right? But it's not an array. It is a struct type. And the third one is map type. Suppose I have only 2 items, like one is a key and one is a value. Suppose I say I have a PF amount is there or EPF amount is there, EPF. So I want to define the key value pair. So one employee has EMP1 has PF only. Okay. But another employee has 2 accounts. So like I say EMP1 is with the PF and EMP1 with the EPF. Okay. So 2 key value pair is there. Here is the 1 key value pair is there. Okay. So this kind of association I want, I will go for key value pair, the map data. So the context you understood, right? In the same table, I will define this complex data type to, but my file data should be in the same format, right? Because when I'm saying the array, so array type of data should be there in my file. Otherwise, I cannot read the data. Okay. So complex data type. So when I come to the complex data type, so okay, so suppose my data is the array data. So like I say, my normal fields, how it is separated, comma delimited, right? A, comma B, like 1, comma ABC, comma 40,000, right? But wherever my array is coming, it is having a different delimited character. Because why I'm using different delimited character, otherwise how I can identify this is my collection data and this is my data. This is my collection data and this is my other fields data. So I'm using here, whenever I'm defining the array, so I define the string type because my fields values are string in the array A, B, C. But how I identify dollar symbol is for the array type value. Here I'm telling collection item terminated by dollar. So when I'm saying collection item terminated by dollar means it's something array type or struct type. Struct type also I will be using, if you see the struct type example, here is the address. Can you see your address? This is the HYD, Hyderabad, $AP, and zip code, pin code. Okay. So here also, but if I'm saying this is also address is also collection item terminated by dollar. Okay. But here I'm defining the struct type. So struct type is that is also terminated by dollar as a collection item terminated by dollar. But when you are reading the data, which type it is, that I'm defining the address type. Okay, address type, struct type. So it will manage both. It will manage type as well as collection item terminated by dollar. So collection item terminated by dollar, that is same for the array or struct. There is no difference. Okay. But if you have a map type, so map type, you are saying map keys are terminated by pound sign, hash sign. So if you see PF hash 500, PF hash 200, again dollar is here also coming. So it means whether your data is an array type, map type, or struct type, all our data is separated by dollar, each individual item. But how to access the item, that is a different way. When you are reading an array data, you will use indexes, like you will use square bracket indexes, like sub of 2, sub of 0. So my array column name is sub, sub. So index I'm giving. When you are using an object type, when you are accessing the object type, how you are accessing? Using dot, right? So my object name is addr. Okay, my object name is addr. So now I'm accessing addr.city. Okay, and if it is a map type, so map type is also similar to array. Instead of giving indexes 0, 1, 2, 3, you are giving a key. You are giving a key. Okay, so these are the three different collections. These are the three different collections, the three different ways you are going to access. Okay, and three different ways you are defining in your create table. One way is you are defining using the array type. Second one, you are defining the struct type. And third one, you are defining the map type. This is a map type. But collection item in all these three is separated by dollar. But map is a special type. You are keeping your key is terminated by pound sign. So one key to value is separated by pound sign. But if you're having a map has multiple items, like one is a PF item is there, one is a EPF item is there. Okay. Okay. And this guy has only PF, no EPF. So you will be terminating by dollar. So dollar is the common symbol, and this symbol you can change. So if your field terminated by pipe symbol, so you can take here comma, or you can take dollar here. So symbol should not be the same for all three. So field terminated symbol, dollar is a collection item terminated symbol, or map key terminated symbol. All three different symbols should be there. But make sure whatever symbol you take it here, the same symbol should be there in the file. Otherwise, your file will not be passed. Okay. So this is the symmetry, right? Whatever symbol you define here, make sure your same symbol is here in the file. Okay. Like normal field, you are generally we take comma, right? So field terminated by comma. Collection item, you can interchange. Suppose I make it hash here and dollar here. So wherever you are array, you are separating your address, you are separating, make it hash. And wherever hash is coming, you make it dollar. So that is up to you, but you have to change the data. You have to change the data. So can you see in this one, all three are coming? In this one, all three are there. Like if I say the first field is the ID, second is the name, that is the name, this one ABC. Third is the salary, this is the 40,000 is salary. And then sub, SUB, right? This is my array, ABC. And then DUD. DUD is a deduction, that is a map type, right? So this is a map type till here. Two items are there. And last is address, ADDR. So this is the struct type. And three column is there in the struct type. City is a string, state is a string, and pin code is a integer. That is a big int. Okay. So this is the example of your all three complex data types. Even if you want to create only for array or only for struct, like this is only for array. This is array and map. No struct is there because they are using Hyderabad is the only one single value for that. Okay. So it's up to you, right? You want to learn in a one single example, take this example. If you want to learn separate example, it is up to you. Okay. So I'm creating this file. Okay. This file I'm creating map file, and I will write this data. This concept is clear. Okay. Practically we see. So just I need these four things, and this is your complete struct map. All examples are there. So what modification I have to do? First, I'm going to create my map file. So where is my file creation? So I'm creating one map file with this data. My file is created. Okay. Now next is I'm creating a table. So I'm saying anything bracket you have to remove because it's already coming from your type set. You have to. So here, create table complex type. These are the field. Struct type field having a struct data, like different data and different type. Array is all are the common type, all are the string A, B, C. Okay. But if you have array, you can't use the multiple type. Okay. So either you can choose I'm in string or any one type you can use. Okay. And map is your key value pair. So key value pair again the type is there. String is a type is a key, and value is a integer is a value. Okay. So if you have another key and value, you can define another key and value, but your data is separated by dot. So this table we are going to create complex type. Table is created. Now I'm loading the data into my table. So this file is my location, my file test map file. Map file is the file name. This is the file name. Into table complex type. Complex type. Okay. So this is the same table name what I have created, and same table I will use for getting the column number. Okay. So first I'm loading data. Okay. Now I do all the fields. Okay. I am not giving a specific one. I want to check all the. So can you see when you are looking at the entire table data? So all the arrays data is coming in square bracket. All the map and struct type is coming in the braces. The only difference is here is only one key value pair is there, key and value. But here in the struct type, you have multiple values of multiple data types. City is a Hyderabad, state is a AP, pin is this. Same thing is here also. City is this, state is this, and pin is this. Okay. So it means the data is coming correctly. Now you want to get for the specific index or specific key or specific object, specific column in the struct you want to take. Okay, so I say here ID, name, these two I want to do, and I want to say what is my column name is sub. Sub is my column name. I want to say my second index I want. Second means the last third one, 0, 1, 2. Okay, comma TUD, that is my map. I pass my key name is here. Okay. But suppose I want to see the EPF also I want to see. Another column you can write is city one. How to access city? City and pin I want. So my object name is addr dot city, addr dot okay. And from table name is from text p right. So now can you see here is index, this C is there, but 0, 1, 2. The third index value is not there. PF is there in both, so coming both 500. Here EPF is there on the first row, but not for the second, so it is coming none. City is there in both, it's coming, and pin is there in both, it is coming. Right. So you are able to access all the fields data, right? So sometimes we are reading the data from the one table and write the data into the another table with a separate column. Okay. So this kind of parsing like we can do, right? We can use the complex data. Clear this one, complex data type. So this example, only one example if you practice, right? Let's just prepare the data, prepare the create table command, load the data, and check your data. So this command you can check your data, how it will come. So this way you can see the complex data type. Okay. So one concept, and next is in highways. We have 30. So it is enough, or like what you want, like you want to do practice. If you,
We'll practice till here.
okay. So what you have to complete so far, okay? So assignment I have given, I think everybody has got the assignment, okay? So you complete by day night, okay? Whatever help you want to take it from anywhere, like you take it. But whatever answer you write, just understand the answer, okay? Okay. So that will be helpful for you for the interview, because these are the mostly interview kind of questions, right? This kind of questions, right? Okay. Okay. So theoretical plus practical, both are there, right? How high availability achieved in Hadoop 2.x, 3.x? What is their application factor, default value? So just prepare answer and understand. Give little less answer, but it should be relevant. Not like you can take entire copy thing and paste here. But I will suggest like small, make it small, but make it relevant. And if you do commands one, practice command, because these are the things whatever you take your own, because I won't expect here everybody should do their own hands-on and put it here rather than taking from the Google, right? Okay, because if you do that, and that will be your learning. Okay. And I know, right, this command I have not done, but still I'm asking to you. If there is a text command is there from text. So any particular file you want to see in the zip format, okay, you can see. Generally we use cat command, but cat command is any file you can see using cat, right? But not from the zip, right? If there is a text command is there, search it and try to find the example. Just search like the text Hadoop command to see in zip file. Okay. So any zip file like you want to see, like there is a text command. The text command is coming. Text. Hadoop formatted zip allowed, right? This one. But here is example is not there, but you try to find example, like command will be similar to like this. Hadoop fs minus text and the path of the file. Okay, so do this, and apart from this, just complete by hive partitions and this complex type. Okay, so next topic I will be starting the third day, like a different file format data. So how to read and write file format data. Okay. Okay, I will upload the recording. Maybe in the next 30 minutes I will upload. Okay. Yeah. Someone has any questions? No. Yesterday
No.
recording.
Yeah.
Okay. Today recording, but document is there. If you want to do practice without recording, you can practice because I already uploaded all files there. The practice file. I upload this whatever notes I written in the Ubuntu, right? So that I will also upload. Yeah, so we'll meet on Monday, same time, 7 o'clock we'll meet. Okay, Monday, our US Monday time. We'll meet. Okay, thanks everyone.
Thank you, Arvind.